All right, we just talked about flyaway, so it's only fitting that we now talk about Gaet because it's the exact same thing. I'll show you right here why it's the exact same thing, and I will show you the why it works and the slight difference. Now, just so you know, I will not normally be using my own videos for these analysis videos because I don't know, I just don't like that idea of using my own videos. The only reason I'm using this video is because it's actually really, really hard to find a video of just a Gaet, like on its own, like not a Gaet full or not a crazy variation. I don't know why that is, but it's really hard to find one. So I'm using this one because it's a slow motion, just Gaet on its own. So first of all, let's watch it, and I want you to see why it's so similar to a flyaway. So watch here. So as I take off of the ground, I'm in kind of an arch position. So I'm getting into that arch position that happens before your tap on a flyaway. Then, as I come up onto my hand support, I tap to a straight position, and then what you'll see is my hips are going to continue up. So you see the path of my hips continue upward. Then, once my hips are up almost to that horizontal, just like we talked about in the flyaway, then I release and tap. So what you'll see is the action, the thing that makes a Gaet work is very much a flyaway. It's very much the exact same thing. The only difference now is instead of having a bar and you're swinging underneath it, your base of support is on your hands. So one of the key things you need to remember about Gaet is that you need to keep that support on your hands, because the longer you have that support, the longer you're going to be able to tap for. Because a lot of people will get to about, let's see, right here, and then they'll push off, and they'll take their hand support away. So as soon as you take that hand support away, you're going to start falling, and that's why a lot of people have that issue with Gaet where they don't go up. You'll notice a lot of people's Gaets are they rotate, but they don't go anywhere. They kind of drop really quickly. That's probably why. It's probably because they're taking their hands out of the way too soon, because they think that's how you do it. Because with other pushing moves like a castaway, you do pop off your hands and you push off your hands. But Gaet is very different. Gaet is a very reserved move, and it's a lot more technique than it is power. So it can be difficult for people to learn because they want to put in that power like a castaway or like a pimp flip or like something that they're used to off of a wall. But as I've said, this is a lot more like a flyaway. So you have to let yourself swing. You're just using your hands as the base of support, and you're swinging on your hands. It's a lot like if you've ever seen someone do the backflip where they have their hands on either side of them, like on parallel bars, and they swing back and forth on the parallel bars and then do a backflip. It's basically that. It's that, but with both hands to one side on one of the parallel bars rather than both. But it's that same concept of swinging back and forth on the hands rather than trying to like snap and pop off the hands. It's a swing. So that's just a Gaet on its own. Now, this is a diving Gaet. Now, the reason that variations like a diving Gaet or like Gaet from the top, where people start on the top of the wall and swing down, the reason those are harder is twofold. One, the timing is different. And so if you just dive to the wall, touch it, and blam, tap and go, you're most likely going to start dropping because you're going to tap too soon. You can tap too soon in a Gaet the same way you tap too soon in a flyaway. The other reason it's hard is because it's harder to get that balanced base of support. Because if we're swinging and we need to keep that base of support on our hands, we've got to make sure a lot of our weight is centered on that hand that's on the wall. And as you do things like dive into it or swing from the top, you need to be supported on that hand for longer, which takes a little bit more balance and a little bit more strength. So like with this, as Alfred dives to the wall, his hands are out in front of him, but he has to get his weight to his hands, and he has to get his hips over to the front of the wall. You'll see he's very much supported on his hands. And he got into, so he's very much on his hands enough that he can pop his heels back into this arch shape. And then he kicks them to straight, and then lets them continue, and then his hips follow him up. You can see he's got such a long support on his hands that not only is he able to, from this position back here, he's able to kick his legs straight, right here, kicks him straight, picks him up, and he's still supporting, so he can now take that momentum and continue it up into his hips. It's only till he gets horizontal, like I said, when his hands come off, and that gives him enough to go full from a diving Gaet, which is ridiculous and awesome. Check out this video. It's called Develop Skill. It's great. There's a bunch of other crazy stuff in it. But yeah, so Gaet is not a long tutorial or not a long analysis because Gaet is flyaway. And if you can figure out how to swing on that hand support, you'll do Gaet super easily. So play around with that. Try dialing back the power if you're having trouble with learning Gaet. But yeah, that's how Gaet works. Gaet is a flyaway. Hopefully that helped you guys. Not a long tutorial, but the flyaway tutorial is super long, so go watch that one. You should have watched that one first, but that's okay. I think next one I'm doing is cast side. Let me know any other requests you guys have, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.